Hi, I'm Nicole.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
Nice to meet you, Sharon.
Nice to meet you too.
Before we get started, I just want to let you know, anything that's said between us, it's all confidential. The only reasons I would ever need to talk with you about breaking confidentiality would be if there's threat of harm to self or others. That is, if you were going to hurt yourself or someone else. If there's any suspicion of child abuse, or if there's a court mandate. Okay?
Okay.
But everything otherwise is just between us. So
Okay.
This is a very safe environment for you.
Thank you.
No problem. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what brought you here to us today?
Okay, I got a DWI a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, and I've been abusing alcohol and cocaine again. And I got pulled over for DWI, and I went to jail. They called my ex-husband, and he came and got our daughter. I'm now in treatment,
Right.
and life is just really hard, but
So it sounds like, that's a lot that's happened in just the short few weeks. You got the DWI, your daughter was taken by your ex-husband. Is she with him now?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's with my mom and dad. I'm sorry.
She's with your parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he couldn't handle her, so he asked my mom and dad to take her.
Okay. And how are you feeling about all of this?
I'm disturbed. Seems like they're, against me. Especially I just feel like they're against me. So
And-
I've come to treatment to try to appease everybody, and
So you feel both your ex-husband and your parents are all against you?
yes.
Oh, okay, so that's a lot of pressure on you then to be here.
Yeah.
What do you think about, staying sober, going through treatment?
I don't know if I really want to be sober. When I use and get high, I have a great time. Yeah, I got caught. I got caught, but if I didn't get caught, drugs make me happy.
Drugs make you happy?
Yeah.
So you said that you're here just to appease everyone,
Yeah.
and that you're kind of ambivalent, I guess, about being sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are your main goals then through coming to treatment? Is it just to make everyone happy? What your daughter? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, when I was growing up, my mom, she always called me fat. My dad was an alcoholic. All I tried to do is make them happy, and I feel like I'm doing that again.
Just trying to make them happy?
Yeah, and I have a daughter, but I know they're taking care of her. I don't know if I'm ready to get sober, clean. I have so much fun. They make me happy. I only smile when I'm high. I only have fun when I'm high.
Okay. So really, drugs and alcohol were kind of your way of coping with everything going on in your life, and they gave you an escape of happiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see a problem with that. I got caught.
Well, I'm wondering, could we maybe try an exercise where we explore this theme of drugs and alcohol kind of making you happy?
Okay.
Would that work with you?
Sure.
Okay. So this is called, it's one belief at a time. And what we're going to do is I want you to just think of, one of the concepts that we've kind of been talking about. Just choose one belief that you have that's kind of dictates your life and your outlook.
That drugs and alcohol make me happy. Make me very happy.
Okay. Drugs and alcohol make you happy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write this down.
Okay.
That drugs and alcohol make you happy.
Okay.
And now I just want you to think for a second, is that really true? And it's just answer yes or no to yourself. You can do it out loud too. Do you think that is really true?
Yes.
And can you be absolutely sure that is true? And again, just kind of pause and be still with yourself and, think if there have been any other exceptions. And just let out of that stillness kind of arise an answer.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Okay. So can you just give a yes or no to that?
No.
Okay. So we're going to note that down. And then now I want you to think, when you believe that drugs and alcohol make you happy, what do you feel when you believe that thought? How does it make you act?
That I'm on top of the world. That I can do anything I want to do.
Okay.
That I smile, I'm happy, I'm skinny, like my mom always wanted.
And so would you say that the drugs and alcohol bring peace or stress to your life more? Because it sounds like you're listing a lot of good things that they do.
Peace.
Peace. What about if you consider some of the other things that have been going on that you mentioned earlier about, like the DWI, your daughter living with your parents now? How does that part fit in?
Yeah. A lot of stresses.
A lot of stresses? Okay. So it's both, it gives you some peace, but then there are also a lot of negative consequences, would you say?
Yeah, I only thought of one consequence of DWI, but there's so many more.
Can you think of a few of, like, you know, um, how do people act and treat you when you believe that the drugs and alcohol are what make you happy?
I feel like they treat me great, but now that I think about it, no, I'm losing everything.
Okay.
I feel worthless.
You feel worthless?
I feel like I can't amount to anything, like I'm not good enough.
So that's a lot that comes from just the idea that drugs and alcohol are the only thing that kind of make you happy. So, and now I want you to consider who you might be without that thought. Imagine that it's not just drugs and alcohol that make you happy. What does that look like to you?
Like playing with my daughter,
Okay.
um, going swimming with my daughter, taking her to the park. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And would you be able to do those things, like the swimming and taking her to the park? Would you do those things if you were drunk or high?
I never did.
Okay.
No.
And
No.
that picture of yourself with your daughter doing those activities, does that seem, how does that compare to just using and drinking?
The way I picture it, it's amazing. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can stay clean.
It is, it's a very scary thing to try and imagine,
Yeah, I'm
life
overwhelmed.
without that thought, yeah. Whew. So the thing is, our thoughts tend to dictate, our emotions and then our reaction. So if you're believing that you can only be happy if you're drunk and high, then it makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily try these other things, like going with your daughter to the park or whatever, because
Yeah.
that doesn't fit in with that belief.
She's 14 months old. I've never taken her to the park.
Okay. Is that something that you would like to do?
Yeah, clean and sober.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed thinking about it. I wonder if it's possible.
I think that's something that we'll be able to continue to explore, because now I want you to think about if we turn this thought around, this belief that you have that drinking and drugs are what make you happy. I want you to consider, like, if you turned that around on yourself, if we, instead of saying that the drinking and drugs make you happy, how can you view that from a more of an I statement?
Like, I make the drugs happy?
Right, exactly. Well, that would be
Oh.
more like, that would be like turning it around to the others. That would be like
Oh.
turning it on the drugs and alcohol. So yeah, by using, you're making your addiction happy.
Okay.
Okay, so but if we turn it around on yourself, if you say, like, if you substitute the drugs and the drinking as an I statement, what would that turn into?
I make me happy?
Exactly.
Ah.
So how does that feel to think of it like that?
Hopeful.
Hopeful?
Something just came across me. Yeah. I make me happy.
Okay, and do you think that that could be true? To a small extent?
Small.
Small?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then we can also try and turn it around to the opposite. So take your statement again, the drugs and alcohol make me happy, and make it the opposite. What would that look like?
Drugs and alcohol don't make me happy.
Right. And how does it feel to say that?
I'm just speechless.
Speechless?
You know, I've been in treatment a week now. I'm starting to clear up. I haven't been clean in 10 or 15 years.
It's a long time.
I've never felt this hope as if I have with you today. I think I'm cured. Am I cured?
You're cured. Well, it's the small steps, you know.
Okay.
Right now, we're just by doing this exercise, we've gotten you to start thinking about alternatives, you know, that maybe that belief that you have doesn't have to define you know, that we can try, that you have the option to choose some of these other statements we've listed and imagine a picture where that belief doesn't necessarily exist. Do you think that that's helpful to you to try and see these new perspectives?
Yeah. Next time, can we pick another belief I may have and do this again? And
Yeah, what I'd actually like you to do is I've got a worksheet here that lists what we just did, those main questions that we did, as well as those turnarounds. And so I'd like you, for your homework, to choose another belief and write it out yourself. And then maybe next session we can go over it and see, you know, what you wanted to look at and how, again, it made you feel to go through and do this work.
okay, I'm open to. I'm very open.
You're open to trying
I
that?
haven't felt this happy in a long time.
Oh. So maybe it's not just the drugs and alcohol that make you happy.
Right. Oh my. Yes. Right.
All right?
Right.
All right, well, then I'm going to give you this paper to
Okay.
take with you.
Okay.
And do you think you can have that filled out by our session next week?
Yes.
Okay?
I can do it. I will do it.
Okay, perfect.
I will.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon, for meeting with me today. It was great getting to know you, and I look forward to seeing what you have for us next week.
Thank you so much.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.